Hi everyone, writing prompts can be really tough sometimes. Today I wanted to show you two ways that I use to write prompts quickly, and then another way that takes a little bit more time, but the prompts just become really good on the first try. Let me show you. So the first way is I use ChatGPT. You can use Claude. I use both. We want to recreate an AI engineer that's going to become a part of our product trio and provide feedback on content that we give to the engineer from the standpoint of the engineering team and the users. You can write this out, type this out. I found that dictating is just so much better because you can share a lot of context by just using your voice. It becomes really easy and it can really pick up on what you're saying after the fact, so you can give it examples, you can give it some half-baked thoughts, and it's okay. In writing, it's kind of difficult. It takes longer too, so I'm going to show you how I would do this right now. You are a tech lead on the product trio. You're an engineer, and you will be given content, and I want you to reflect on this content, mainly asking the question, how will this impact my technical team and the end user? For example, you might get some content that has to do with fragmented roadmaps. Fragmented strategic roadmap, for example, and what happens is different teams pursue conflicting directions, which overall results in misaligned efforts and scattered focus. So as a tech lead, what could happen to your team, to the engineering team, is lack of motivation, shipping features that are not aligned with our vision, creating meaningless work, etc. For the users, implications of fragmented roadmaps could be that we ship product late and the product is not what the user is expecting. It doesn't have the features that they wanted because we couldn't prioritize them on the roadmap effectively. So I just gave you one example. I want you to come up with 5 to 8 more relevant examples for me. And I want you to reflect the content that I give you in the future from the standpoint of these principles. Now let's do this. Let's say, make me a prompt. I'm using O3 mini model. It's going to think for a little bit. You're a tech lead, and here's the main question. I like this. I like this to be explicitly asked, because if you go to the Substack that I shared in the last video, it has all the prompts that I use for AI designer lead prompt that we made to simulate a designer on the product team, AI engineer lead prompt. It has a demanding stakeholder prompt, right? So if you compare, it's getting pretty close. And I use the same way. I just dictated essentially how I want the engineer to behave. And so in the previous video, what we had the engineer do, we asked to critically review, evaluate following highlighted content from technical standpoint. Always begin your analysis by asking, what are the implications that would impact my engineering team? See, today I basically was debating whether to do a designer and engineer, and designer has, how will this impact my design team and also the user? I wanted to do the same for this tech lead as well, so I included the user. But it has 8 principles here, 9, 10, great, 10 principles and usage examples. So I'm trying to simulate the same prompt, but really quickly by dictating. So I think we got something here. Let's check it out. Prompt for tech lead reflection. Yes, main question here. When you receive the content, consider the following guiding examples and principles. Here's it created more examples. Okay, so now more examples. Now give me principles of how this will impact the product and the user. This took a different approach because I used the wording of examples, and then I didn't use enough words about the principles. So it took examples and it just ran with it, which is fine. Maybe we can do this. Yes, there we go. So now I recognize that and I say, okay, this is fine. I can test this, but I said, give me some principles. So impact on the engineering team. Here's the principles. Now combine both into a prompt. Okay. We're still approximately under 1 minute here. Quick and dirty. This is going to give me a final prompt. Now you have a good prompt to get started with. Now you can start. Now this is something that you can build your AI engineer with in SuperWhisper, or you can use it here from the get-go. You can copy this prompt that it gives you. You can start giving it content, and you can basically start evaluating the stakeholder feedback from the standpoint of the engineer. Okay, this is one quick way to create your prompt. Dictate to it, elaborate a little bit, fix it just a tiny bit, combine both into a prompt. Now you have a long prompt that you can use. Great. Now, before we go to Anthropic, let's throw this content over to it and let's see what it gives me, and then we'll come back. Now analyze this content using the prompt above. Let's leave it here and let's go to Anthropic. The second way, which I found creates prompts at the same speed, but it just makes more advanced prompts, is Anthropic Workbench. So I'm going to show you how to use it. You go to console.anthropic.com/dashboard. You'll end up here. I use generate a prompt. You click here. What you do here is you say this. You can also dictate, but since I've already dictated what I wanted to do, I'm going to copy it in here, and let's see what it gives you. So here's the prompt it created for me. Let's go over it really quick. You're a tech lead, part of the product journey. Your role is to analyze from a technical perspective, focusing on how it impacts your technical team and the users. Good. Content issue. It has these variables in here. As you analyze the content, consider the following questions. How will this impact my technical team? How will this impact our users? So the entire top part of this prompt is essentially, hey, how is this impacting my technical team and the users? And insert your content. Okay. In your analysis, extrapolate on these impacts and express your concern as a tech lead. You can see right away how it just hits you with all of these nested structure. Confusion in the development process, increased time spent on task switching. Okay, great. This is fantastic. You could reuse this bit in your other prompts. I really like how it just came up with it. Use the following principles to guide your evaluation. More principles. So it came up with principles straight away. And let's just check out some of these principles. Efficiency, quality, sustainability, technical feasibility, user centricity, resource allocation, risk assessment. Pretty great. Use concrete examples where possible to illustrate your points. Write your final analysis inside tech lead analysis tags. Do not include any scratchpad. Okay, you'll be able to see some scratchpad thinking here as well, I think. So let's take this here, our testing stakeholder feedback problem that we were tackling in the last video, and let's post it here. Let's test it. So you click run here. Issue and content is the same thing here. So you can delete one of them potentially once you take this and use it. So let's run it. Let's see what it gives us. Because it's so structured on the first try, you're going to be able to see how well it nests these ideas and the feedback in the structure that it identified here in the beginning. It's really great. Just pay attention to it. So now it goes technical team impact, then it goes user impact, overall concerns, and recommendations. Here's what to do. I like the structure. Let's just read really quick what it gave us. Technical team impact, the lack fragmented will significant impact. So inefficient resource. So here's what the fragmented strategic roadmap will do for us. Inefficient resource allocation will waste considerable time navigating shifting priorities. Clear objectives will struggle to make informed technical decisions. Team members will likely be pulled in multiple different directions to support conflicting initiatives from different stakeholders. Tech data accumulation. Nice. Team morale and retention issues. This is a good one. Engineers thrive when building purposeful solutions. Ambiguous goals undermine the sense of purpose. I love this so far. Conflicting directions from different teams will cause frustration as work gets discarded as significantly overworked. Oh, this is great. So look, we gave it this so far. Just this is what, 2 sentences, 2 headings, and now it's going into team morale and retention issues. Double clicking into this. Inefficiency, conflicting direction, compromise quality assurance. Different teams will interpret quality requirements different, yes. I love it so far. This is fantastic. User impact absence of clear direction will manifest in user experience, inconsistent user experience, yes. Users will struggle to build mental models of how the product works, increasing their cognitive load. Nice. First try. Remember, this is just, there's no iteration here. This is the first try of the prompt. Feature gaps and overlaps critically should go unaddressed. This team's focus on different priorities. Redundant features may be built by different teams working in silos. It's like just pains me to read this. Integration points between different teams will break and non-existing. Yes. Unreliable performance, delayed value delivery, will wait longer for truly valuable features. Overall concerns. As a tech lead, my primary concerns about the situation are strategic misalignment. We're setting ourselves up for failure by not establishing a unified vision. Fundamental structural problem that will manifest in every aspect of our product development cycle. We need clear, measurable sustainability. Challenge is less sustainable. Engineering team will eventually face systemic burnout, increased turnover, and declining productivity. Oh, I like this. It doesn't sugarcoat. Like, if you have this problem here, these bad things will happen. And here's some recommendation. Technical vision document, regular cross-team reviews, implement North Star metrics, establish technical governance. I like this so much. This is fantastic. You can improve the prompt a little bit. You could potentially dictate to it the ways that on top of all of these recommendations of what's been successful, what's been unsuccessful. And by just including that one bit, you can make the prompt just so much better. But on the first try, what do you think? I think this is fantastic. We just dictated a little bit of rambling on about the problem, and now our AI bot is able to provide us this level of feedback. I think it's really insightful. I like it. This is great. Let's see what our simple prompt gave us. So let's find where we gave it some content. So ambiguous goals. Okay, so we gave it the same thing. Now analyze this content using the prompt above. Okay, yes, it does cover some of the main things. It's just that when I think about both and comparing this to Anthropic, this just goes deeper for me. It really touches on things that would worry me a lot if I was facing all of these issues. Like the team burnout, stuff that has to do with team building. And this has the sense of impending doom, which to me reflects this problem very accurately. Like when I see ambiguous goals and fragmented strategic roadmaps, this is serious feedback. And Anthropic is able to create a prompt that takes the serious feedback and reflects on it in a proper way, going at the proper level of depth compared to, I mean, this is not shallow, but I would say, go deeper. Like I would have to prompt it this way. But again, this does not have, when you say go 100x deeper, I don't know where it's going to take me. I know that if I tell Anthropic to go 100% deeper, 100x deeper, it's going to follow this specific structure. So I know what to expect because I've built the structure this way. It's really exciting. Here, I'm like more surprised, and it feels like what I need to do. If I were working with this prompt and making it better, I would have to introduce more and more rigid structure, nested structure, which Anthropic does for you automatically in most cases. So it does give you depth. I just feel like the depth is not really connected to structure is what I'm missing here. It can give you a lot of information, but then you're like, all right, I need a way to process it. And you need heuristics, which is what Claude Workbench API prompt creator gives you. So I would say play with this. To me, for most of the prompts I created, this is my go-to. I dictate like this and say, give me a prompt if I'm just making something really quick. If I need something more robust, I go here and I iterate here. So I wanted to share those two ways with you. Try them both out. I hope this is helpful. Talk soon.